Well, Britain's politics is in bad shape too. It's been 12 days since Boris Johnson resigned and the country still does not know who their next Prime Minister will be. The Conservative Party is split. Its leaders are quarrelling on television debates. 2 debates have been held so far. The third one has been cancelled. Why? Because the Tories feel these debates are exposing the divisions within the party. They can't afford this right now. The country is suffering a heat wave. Temperatures have soared to 40 degrees Celsius. A state of national emergency has been declared. Authorities say hundreds of lives could be at risk. How is the political slugfest making the situation worse? Our next report tells you.
Britain is in a state of national emergency. Citizens have been asked to work from home. They've been advised to travel only if necessary. Buses and trains are running slower. Most of the schools have been shut. Many shows and fairs have been called off. What has triggered this national emergency? A heat wave. It's sweeping across the United Kingdom with temperatures soaring to 40 degrees Celsius. In many parts of the world, this will be no big deal. 40 degrees is the average summer temperature for some countries. For the United Kingdom, it's not. The British record was 38.7 degrees Celsius, set in 2019. On Monday, that record was broken. These images tell you what followed. Cracks appeared on the earth outside the United Kingdom's parliament. People were seen carrying Japanese hand fans. Shirtless Londoners were boating in Hyde Park. And the beaches were packed with umbrellas.
It's very hot outside. I think staying in the shade is the best option you've got.
Well, you walk from shadow to shadow, so anywhere that you have to stay in the sun for a long time, that's off limits.
So, yeah, it's a bit frightening, I think.
All our windows are open as much as possible before and after school and during the day.
The situation is bad as it is. In the days ahead, it could get worse. The British government has issued an amber warning. A level 4 heat alert has been announced till Tuesday. The Met Department says thousands of lives could be at risk in the week ahead, and that sunscreens and swims will not help beat the heat.
This isn't like a lovely hot day where we can put a bit of sunscreen on and go out and enjoy, a swim and a meal outside. This is serious heat. That could actually ultimately end in people's death because it is so ferocious. And we're just not set up for that sort of heat in this country.
As the mercury soars to new extremes, the political temperature is also rising. Reports of Tory infighting has emerged. They say the party is split on who the next Prime Minister should be, Rishi Sunak or Liz Truss. The Conservatives can't seem to decide. The divisions were laid bare in the second television debate held for the leadership. Every contender for 10 Downing Street went all guns blazing at each other.
Rishi, you have raised taxes to the highest level in 70 years. That is not going to drive economic growth.
But I'd love to stand here. I'd love to stand here and say, look, I'll cut this tax, and another tax, and it will all be okay. But you know what? It won't. There's a cost to these things.
The second debate was chaotic. The third one will not even take place. The organizers have called it off. Why? Because the two leading candidates have pulled out, Rishi Sunak and Liz Truss. Reports say they have been asked to pull out. Why? Because their exchanges are apparently damaging the image of the Conservative Party. They're exposing the divisions in the party, and the Tories cannot afford this right now. Because for the people, things in the United Kingdom are already too hot to handle.
I'm a loyal person. I stood by Boris Johnson.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.